Hi guys, it's Machaela with Your Everyday Woman. So my husband and I are celebrating our 2nd year wedding anniversary on April 29th. So I thought I would share with you my love story. And she's singing this little ode of mine. So to start, I just wanted to say happy anniversary, babe. I love you. I am so stoked to be celebrating 2 years with you. You're everything I ever wanted, and husband and father for my children, and just love you so much. So if you'd like to hear our story, just keep on watching. So Marty and I met on September 18th, 2018 or 2015. Our hometown, there was a fire that had gone through our hometown, and so it was in the middle of a disaster essentially, and we were at our church. He had just started coming there not too long before, and I had been there for about, I don't know, was it 2 or 3 years now, or by that point. And we were both, we both felt that call in our hearts to volunteer and help out with the victims of the fire and just kind of provide a service for them. And we both spent every spare minute we had there during that. And I don't remember exactly how we met. I guess we just kind of started talking, and from there we just, he had messaged me on Facebook one night, after having a few conversations at the church. He had messaged me on Facebook, and then we exchanged phone numbers, and he had actually gone out of his way at church that next Sunday and went to go introduce himself to my parents. And he was just, that for me was like, he went out of his way to talk to my parents without, even, me having to say anything to him. And he's one of those boys who, he had a rough kind of past. I think he talks about that in one of his videos. His channel is The Catalyst. But I will go ahead and find that video and link it down below so you can hear his backstory. I was a college girl. I was just getting ready. I was just starting my 2nd year of college, and I was kind of just trying to make my way through college at the time and kind of figure out who I was and what I wanted to do with my life. And we just kind of clicked. He wasn't the kind of guy that my parents thought I would end up marrying, but the way he presented himself and the way he had nothing but respect for me and my family, and just the way he went out of his way to even ask my parents if he can date me, and ask my parents if he could take me out and just do things with me. And one day he asked if I wanted to meet him at Starbucks in town for a Bible study that we were doing in our church. And we spent probably a good couple hours just talking and hanging out, and we got the Bible study done eventually. And from there, just we had a couple more of those Bible study dates, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. I couldn't believe just how he made me feel. And I think what made me truly fall in love with him and his personality was not only the respect for me and my family and the want to be that man who provides and wants to be around my family. And his biggest thing was, I will never take you away from your family. But I think what really kind of made me fall in love with him was the way he wanted to know more about me. He didn't want to just know what was on the surface or what was just right there that everybody else knew. He wanted to find my vulnerable side. He wanted to see what made me tick, and he wanted to know more about me. And for me, that was just huge. And he was so just romantic. He's a romantic guy. He doesn't like to admit it, but when he puts his mind to it, and he doesn't show it, very often. He tries to keep this, not the tough guy attitude, but just like this he doesn't like to show his emotions too much, but I mean, he does when he needs to, but he is a huge romantic, and I think that is just beautiful. And, you know, during the time of our dating, we had our, you know, we definitely had our dates. You know, we took a day trip to point, you know, went on a trip to the beach together and spent the day there and watched the sunset at the beach and took a hiking trip. And then about 2 months later, I had gotten my associate's degree, and we celebrated, and he took me to Great America, and we decided to have our second big trip together, and we did that. And then in August of 2016, we had, mostly him, but there was our friend, you know, a good friend of ours, a good friend of the family's. He was in our church. He was an older friend, you know, and he had passed away, and he was very supportive of our relationship and actually was very hands-on with Marty about, you know, him feeling good about me being the girl for him, and, you know, really wanting to show that support for our relationship. And he had passed away. Well, a couple weeks later, it was his funeral. And Marty had decided that he wanted to propose on, it was August 27th, 2016. He had taken us to one of our spots. There was a spot that we went to at the time that we like to go and hike, and, you know, we would take our walks there. I had recently had wrist surgery. I had cartilage that had to be stitched up, so I was all in a cast, and on my left hand, which was the hand that the ring goes on. But he had made this very beautiful, very memorable speech, and I immediately, without a second thought, was like, yes, I'm gonna marry you. And it was so exciting. And yes, I did figure out that he was getting ready to propose to me in the time that had followed. He was acting weird. He was going places, not like a suspicious way, but like not letting me go with him, talking to my brother about it and talking to our families about it. And I kind of figured out when he was asking my dad if he could marry me, because they were having a private conversation while we were camping the week before. So I kind of knew that was going on, and just the way he went to go pick up the ring, and then he had secretly shown my brother about it. So, and then the day he proposed, it was right after our friend's funeral, which, you know, this friend was, you know, played a really heavy role in our lives. And so we were at the funeral, and he was kind of acting nervous. And then and I thought he was gonna cry. I mean, he's not one to cry, but I mean, it's his friend. He's his good friend. So that for me, the day of was like, okay, you know, that's the first thing that was off about him. The second thing was he was like trying to get me comfortable with my arm. He's like, do you really need this sling? I know you don't like it, you know, and come rest your arm on my shoulder, and, you know, making sure I had the proper shoes on and everything. And so it was on the drive from the church to our spot, and he was just like, just the way it all was, I'm like, I bet he's getting ready to propose. So yeah, we got there, and within 2 minutes he was down on his knee. He had proposed, and then after all that, after the smiles, the laughter, my brother had his camera out. He had gotten pictures, and we have videos of it, and it was so beautiful and so precious. And we'd gone home to tell family, and just everything was just so amazing. And then the whole planning the wedding process, and then the wedding itself, I was a princess. I have to be a princess on my wedding day. So I had this really it was an all lace, all beading gown from like the sleeves, which had flower detail in it. The entire bodice of the dress had, like, the whole top was all lace and all beads and crystals and the flower detail, and then it trailed off into the skirt part of the dress, which looked like I was twirling no matter how I walked in it. And I didn't have to get a single alteration to the dress. It fit me perfectly. The lady was just trying to get the dress out of her store and didn't have a bride that was small enough to fit in it at the time. So it was beautiful. Our wedding colors were pink or blush and navy, And we had like a vintagey theme wedding. It was everything I had ever wanted in the wedding. We had all of my family played a part in the wedding, and it was just so beautiful, and just everything in our love story was just, it was so amazing. And you know, 2 years later, I'm like, I can't believe that I am married to this man who loves me, who loves God, who loves my family. And now we've got, you know, we've got his daughter from a previous relationship, and then we've got our daughter together, and we're so happy and so in love. And yeah, marriage is hard work. It's, you know, it's definitely been a roller coaster of, you know, both emotionally, mentally, physically, but it's definitely, it's amazing. And this girl is playing with her sister's toy, and she apparently thinks it's a chew toy. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. And if you would like to hear more about our love story, if you would like some advice as far as love goes, or at least, you know, whatever advice I can give you, maybe some stuff on things you should probably go through before you get married, if that's something you'd want to hear, feel free to let me know in the comments box. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you, God bless, and goodbye.